I'm Haley, a new mom in her 30s after a long fertility journey, figuring out motherhood one snack break at a time.
And I'm Susanne, navigating fertility after loss in my 40s while raising a teenager and still hoping for one more.
Welcome to Two Truths and a Hormone, the podcast where age gap meets egg counts
And real talk meets real emotion.
We're diving into infertility, womanhood, and everything the brochures forgot to mention. The truth is, it's messy.
The other truth, you're not alone.
And the hormone, well, she's along for the ride.
Hey, welcome back to Two Truths and a Hormone. I am your co-host, Susanne.
And I am your co-host, Haley.
Yay, we are so glad that you are here for episode 4. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. The last couple episodes have been a little
Heavy.
heavy. We did Suzanne's story, and then last week was my story. And so we're gonna do something fun today.
I think it was important to get those stories out, though, to kind of explain why we're here. But yeah, they definitely can be heavy, and we wanted to do something fun. So what are we doing? I'm a little bit nervous.
Yes, so we're going to be talking about all things like the crazy, like things people do when trying to conceive. There's, especially if you're on social media, there's like fads, there's things to buy, there's things to try. So we have like a little, I guess kind of like a little quiz, if you would say.
Oh, I'm a little bit nervous about this.
No, I'm going to keep track of like points, and then at the end we can like, depending on how many points you have, it like tells you like how into trying to conceive you are. So we'll see how it goes. And then we might still talk about some extra things, like if there weren't any mentioned here and we have anything else to talk about. So
Sounds good. Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I don't know. We will see. Okay, let's see.
Okay. The first one. Have you tracked your ovulation with an app?
Yes.
Yeah.
Duh.
See, they're gonna be easy questions. Next.
What about you? Have you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course, yes.
So, I mean, I'm the one that told you about Tip Drop.
You did, yep. I still wear it every night. In fact, I just bought their updated one because my original one was dying. I remember yours died.
But I got the Aura Ring for Christmas, and so I've been using that.
I know. I kind of want one. Stupid
really
budgeting.
Nice.
Like, we're trying to budget.
And it's expensive. Yeah, I know. That's why I got it for Christmas. Use ovulation test strips every single morning religiously.
Every morning?
Okay,
I mean, like, I usually, like, I know like, for me at least, because I know I'm different than you, like, I know I usually ovulate like, cycle day 12, 13, so I may start, like, cycle day 8.
I would say that's what it means.
Yeah, so, like, I, like, religiously until I get my peak, yes.
I did a lot of ovulation tests, which mine were, it was really weird. Like, during the journey, especially in the beginning, like, I would test, and, like, I would get a positive, but then I would go get my blood test, and it would show I didn't ovulate, and then vice versa. Like, I wouldn't get a positive, but then I would get my blood tested, and it would say I did ovulate. So
is that common with PCOS?
Yeah, I've learned since then that ovulation tests really aren't that helpful with PCOS. But even like, I mean, at that time I didn't know I had PCOS, but I was also on medication to help me ovulate, so you would think it would.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It would have worked. I don't know, but yes, I have had my fair share of ovulation tests as well.
Yep. And I end up using the expensive ones that give you a smiley face, because the 2-line ones always throw me for. I'm like, I think that like, there were times I would send the 2-line ones to you, and I'm like, this is saying it's not a peak, and you're like, there's no way.
But even then, like, I was getting more consistent results with the 2 lines rather than the ones with the smiley face, because the smiley faces are the ones that I was getting, like, the opposite blood test.
That is insane.
Literally, I'm showing. So, I don't know.
So, I have done something in regards to ovulation tests that you don't know about.
Oh, God. What?
So, I've read online that you can get a positive ovulation test if you're pregnant, because, like, it can pick up on the HCG. I don't know if that's true. And so there were times when I was like, well, I'm not going to test this month. My workaround of not taking a pregnancy test was to take an
Do
ovulation.
an ovulation test. Oh, literally the same thing, Suzanne.
Not in my mind.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I did not do that. I didn't even know you could do that. So.
I don't know how reliable it is. And, yeah, and like I would buy the stupid, like I would only use like the cheapy strip ones.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use, yeah.
That's funny. That's
I should get a bonus point for that. I'm just saying.
Fine. We'll give you a bonus point, whatever. This one's kind of like the first question. You charted basal body temperature, which
Yeah, that's what Tim
that's
Frop does.
the
Yeah.
app. So yeah, we'll do that. I also did it. I tried like the actual like thermometer for a while, but the nice thing about like the temp drop and the Aura Ring is that because you want it at the same time, you want to take it at the same time, so you don't have to remember to like wake up at the same time to actually do like a thermometer.
And we are not sponsored by them by any means, but if
No.
they want to sponsor us,
If
they
we
can. No,
want
we
to.
just like them.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, if Aura Ring wants to send me one, like, I will rock it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to pay for my subscription that you also have to pay every single month, even though you pay several $100 for the ring, go ahead. Timed intercourse.
We have not. Yeah.
If you're charting and doing
Yeah,
all
like,
tests,
I don't think Scott realizes it's time intercourse.
Well,
But when I know I'm in my fertile window, like, I make sure that if he has not initiated
Yeah.
anything, I will initiate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I guess you're right, yeah.
all right. Used a menstrual cup or soft disc after sex.
No, but I have heard about that.
I have heard about that too. I have not done that either.
No, but I will say I don't get up and pee after. Because I'm like, nope.
You should still do that.
Not right
prevent
away.
infections.
I mean, I go eventually, but not right away. We're gonna have to like give our families some warning on this one. I can already tell. Like this is gonna be like a hey, parents, don't listen to it.
We're talking about all the things we've done.
We
So,
are.
You would think it would be common sense, hopefully, but
So,
Okay.
like, you would get up right away and pee?
yeah, I
Like,
don't want
right
any
away?
infection. Yeah,
No, I have not been. No,
Yes.
I wait a little bit.
I think maybe. We'll get to that. But I mean, most of the time, yes. Now everything is. It's not like you're gonna get everything out. I mean, what's in there is gonna be in there, no matter if you're peeing or not.
I know, but it's in my mind. I also have taken ovulation test as a workaround of not taking a pregnancy test. Like, come on,
That
my
is
mind
true.
is
That
not
is true.
perfectly sane.
That is true. All right. Next one. Took a pregnancy test before your period just in case.
Oh, 1,000%, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the earliest DPO you've taken a pregnancy test? And DPO, if anyone is not, I mean, most people know these, but it's days post-ovulation. So when you ovulate, that's when the egg is fertilized, transfers where it needs to, kind of implants, and then so many days post-ovulation is when you start creating the hormones for a pregnancy.
Probably 9 or 10.
Okay, I think I know I've done a 7 because our second pregnancy test, I got a negative on a 7 and a positive on a 9. I think I've done a 6.
Dang. That's early.
I know.
Dang. Yeah, I try to wait as long as I could.
I know.
About 9
Well, I
is
will
about
say,
when
it's funny because I do take it as a challenge. When I messaged you yesterday, I'm like, I'm officially out of line strips. And kind of like in our last episode where when you did your IVF, you had to see the word pregnant. I will not take a digital if I even suspect it's going to say not pregnant, like, because I don't want to see those words.
Oh, I did because I got indent lines all the
Oh,
time.
well, yes, I've done that
I was like,
before.
I just don't know, and I was like, I have to see the words to know for sure.
That's true.
So, I do
So
every time.
I don't think I'll be early testing because you said I'll buy more, but I'm going to take that as a challenge and not buy any more. So
We'll see. I thought you were strong, but I mean, I'm still believing you, Suzanne, but we'll see. All right, next is Googled implantation cramps or PMS.
Oh,
I know,
1,000%.
that's what sucks about it is like PMS symptoms are basically the same as early pregnancy symptoms.
Yes,
So it's
like peeing more, moodiness,
rude.
crying. Well, like
rude.
I think you and I both kind of thought maybe this month I would be pregnant because I was super tired, crying at things, and normally it's more like an anger, like hormonal, like
Yeah.
that did come, but yeah, like Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's rude.
Being
It's
in a
very
woman's
rude when
body
it's
kind
that
of
way.
sucks sometimes. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, we have to
Lots
go
of
through a
things.
lot.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Analyze your cervical mucus like a detective.
Yes.
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 It's kind of gross, so sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
oh,
y'all, if
but
it's a
no,
little
yes, yep, for sure. Well, especially because, like, with Temp Drop, you can track,
Yeah.
like, is it and you need to track it, because then that also helps the algorithm,
Yeah.
all the things, but, oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a question on there. Have you checked your cervix positioning before?
I have not.
I have.
I don't even know. I don't even know how to know what is my cervix.
You will know. If you were to check it, you would know, like that.
Okay.
You really would.
All
And
right.
it's amazing
No.
because, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's way up there. And then you're like, oh, it's not.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. But
I'll give
yes.
you a bonus point for that. I
Okay.
don't know if it's on here. If it is, we'll come across it. All right. I think I'm gonna beat you on this
Oh,
one.
God, what?
All right. Tried pre-seed or other fertility lubricants?
I have not.
I have.
Okay, I have not. I have not. Well, okay, no, but I started last month and I'm doing it again this month. The Mucinex hack.
Yeah, that's a question in here.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's different. It's different.
Okay, okay.
I'm just kidding.
They're gonna think we're nuts. They're gonna, like, call to have us institutionalized after this
Yeah.
one.
No, I don't know if you know, but like normal lubricant is usually very toxic to sperm.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, so there is like
I mean, we haven't
specific
used
like
that,
fertility
but okay.
lubricant and stuff. So just in case
Interesting.
somebody doesn't know and you're trying to conceive and you're using lubricant, make sure it's fertility safe.
Okay.
Put affirmations where you can see them every day.
Yeah, I guess I made last year. It's not there anymore, but I made like a vision board
Yeah.
for my computer screen at work, and it was like, I had a positive
I did,
pregnancy test, all those types of
especially
things.
for IVF, like my phone, like I made sure like the background was like you can do this or like your body is capable of being a mom and things like that.
Yeah.
So definitely been there. Tried fertility yoga or a womb massage?
I did one time like a 15-minute video of like stretching for yoga, but I've never done a womb massage. I have tried womb warming tea. Say that 5 times fast.
Warning.
You can't even say womb warming.
Warming.
Tea. It was like a package deal. There's tea you drink when you're on your period. There's tea you drink when you're ovulating, and then there was a package that included a womb warming soak. I did not go that far.
Do you drink that still?
The womb warming soak? No, that you put it in the bath and soak it. Yeah, I didn't get that. So yeah, I mean,
I've tried fertility yoga.
Okay.
Like trying to conceive yoga or whatever.
I've never done acupuncture or anything like that, though.
No, me either. All right, this one's kind of interesting. I haven't really looked into this. Meditated to the sound of fertility frequency music. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
I didn't either.
You might need to look into that.
I might.
I
I know.
Try it out.
Fertility.
Yeah.
What? I gotta Google this. Fertility frequency music.
Frequency. Yeah. I feel like Scott would be into it too. He's a music guy.
Meditation for fertility, ovulation. Oh wow.
Yeah.
There's like a whole thing. What frequency is best for fertility? Interesting. Okay.
I'm kind of interested to know what it sounds like, so I might have to look at that. All right. Practiced visualization or spoke affirmations to your uterus. I think the only time was when I was going to IVF, and I was like, "You better."
So see, you've done it. I mean, I don't know that's an affirmation. You're like basically threatening it.
I'm threatening my uterus, so I'm going to say no to that one.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
All right. The next one is tried acupuncture.
Nope.
For fertility. So nope, didn't do that. Took a break from tracking to let it happen, then tracked again the next month. I have.
Yeah. when we had our miscarriages, there were, I don't know that I necessarily waited a month. I think I did wait 1 month and then,
Well, that's what it means is that you said you were going to take a break and then
yeah, yeah,
you just continue doing it the next month.
yeah.
All right. Avoided cold drinks for womb warmth. So, and related to your womb warming, but did you avoid
No,
cold
I
drinks?
didn't.
Okay. I didn't either. I didn't even know that was a thing to
No, I didn't either.
warm your womb. All right. Tried legs up the wall
Yep.
after sex. Yes.
In fact, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I'm pretty sure I did that the first, like, when we first got pregnant and, like, that cycle. I'm like, man, I need to try that again. But it's so awkward. Like, there is no way you can get turned around and, like, your legs are up. And then, like, Scott's laying in bed, like, on his phone. I'm like, this is awful. This is awkward and weird. I mean, he was a champ and didn't even blink twice. I don't even think he realized my legs were on the wall. But, yeah.
Wrote affirmations like my body knows how to conceive.
No.
I've never wrote them.
I've never been like a journal person, and to me that's like journaling.
Yeah, not me really either. All right, next is like diet lifestyle changes.
You're gonna beat me on all this.
I don't know. We'll see. Cut out gluten.
Nope.
I have recently cut out gluten, but it wasn't for fertility. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay. How are you liking the gluten?
Honestly, it really hasn't been that hard. I was kind of already not really eating a lot of like bread and like regular pasta anyways. We were already doing like chickpea pasta because it's higher protein. It's hard going to restaurants
Okay.
because I don't like asking questions about it because I feel like they're dumb questions. And then there's also like cross-contamination and that gets like into even further gluten-free.
Yeah.
I do feel like, and it takes like 3 to 6 months for gluten to get out of your system. I guess I've been doing it about 2 months now, I think, actually. I do feel not as bloated.
Okay.
So there might be some, but yeah, I cut it out I found out that I have Hashimoto's, which is related to thyroid. So I cut it out to see if that helps any. So, all right. Cut out dairy.
Nope.
No, I don't think I ever want to cut out dairy. I hope it doesn't come to that ever.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not a big, like, I eat cheese, I'll eat ice cream. I don't
like
drink
cheese.
milk. I use half and half in my coffee, so it's
That's
not
the same
like,
in coffee.
yeah.
Cut out caffeine or
God,
try
no.
to and failed.
No.
I never cut it out. I like decreased it, but
I'm not, yeah, I don't
really
drink energy
cut it out.
drinks. I'll have a cup of coffee in the morning. The only time that I had to stop drinking coffee was with our first pregnancy. When I started having morning sickness, coffee made it.
It's making you sick.
Oh, I would drink it and like puke it up. Yeah.
Gross. I know a lot of people struggle with that, like the smell of the coffee.
Oh, it
is, like,
smelled great. It
horrible.
tasted great.
And like as soon as you're not pregnant, you can
Oh, yeah.
pick it right back up. I didn't have to deal with a lot of that, so thank goodness.
Well, and you weren't a big coffee drinker until you had a baby, right?
Yeah, I was a big Dr. Pepper girly. I think I have actually stopped drinking Dr. Pepper. I honestly
What?
can't remember the last time I've
You
had
were like a
Dr.
member
Pepper.
of the Dr. Pepper
Yeah.
group and you got
Yeah.
like their secret flavor before anyone else did? And...
Part of the Pepper Pack. Like I loved Dr. Pepper. I've replaced it with coffee. So I don't know how much better that is, but yeah, since having a baby, it's been like, where's the coffee? Please give me coffee because I need something because I'm not sleeping.
Yes.
Even though he sleeps through the night, it's still a lot. But yeah, I never cut it out completely. Drank fertility teas, so spearmint, raspberry leaf, and so on. Which I mean, you had teas.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you did.
You did raspberry leaf tea at...
I've had
Yeah.
I do raspberry leaf tea.
But did you do it when
I
you were
do it
trying?
Right, I do it before a period, like a week before a period, and like the first couple days of my period, because it helps with like the cramps and stuff, which I do think it helps. And then I did it at the end of my pregnancy because it helps with labor, but I didn't do it to like for fertility.
Yeah.
So, but you did. You'd had fertility.
I have the womb tea.
Man, you're I'm actually really
Okay, but I
shocked.
don't feel like a winner. I don't feel like a winner.
Yeah, like
No.
still.
I want my number to be
I
lower.
know, but it's interesting because um, I mean, been going through it, or went through it a little bit longer, so it's
I think
interesting to
for
see
me, I
like the
feel like such a
numbers.
rush because of my age.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
there's a lot that I tried. Like, when you, I think what has been so eye opening for me is like all the gimmicks, all the things on like Instagram and Facebook and everything, anything really. It's, are you struggling to conceive? And I still fall for the gimmicks and use them. But I mean, the reality for us is, I mean, I don't know now because we've gone the longest we've ever gone trying to conceive. But
Yeah.
last year, I'll say, I can get pregnant. It was keeping our
Right.
baby. And so, like, I try the gimmicks, but I feel even stupider trying them because I'm like, none of this,
Stupid.
there's nothing out there. And to say, like, how to keep, especially, like with our second loss, it was genetic, like to keep your baby, right? And so,
Yeah.
I try all the things, but at the same time, I'm like, I've been trying more now because we've gone so long.
Yeah.
And when I
Well,
say long, I know it's not long. Like, don't
yeah.
come at me, comment
It's real
section,
long.
but it was long for me.
Yeah. But like, don't feel like dumb or whatever about doing it because you're obviously not the only one doing these things. Like that's what I'm trying to just like think about is like I'm not the only one or like I couldn't create this list. Like
That's true.
there are like anybody going through this is doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just which ones you decided to try or willing to try. So
Well, then there's
um
some like I've had to talk myself out of, right? Like, no, no,
oh
no, no.
yeah, for sure.
Well, like we even
Eight.
had that conversation about the Anito. Again, not
Yeah,
sponsored. If they want to send me
yeah.
some, cool. Where I was like, oh, I want to try this, and you're like, what more could you get?
From what
And
you're already
would
getting.
it help you or would it make things worse? I'm like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, that information would probably
yeah,
make it worse. So never mind.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because at that point, it's like it's not really helping.
yeah, no,
So it's yeah, and it costs money. So
a
you just
lot,
be
a lot of
spending
money.
more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8 pineapple core after ovulation. Yes.
Ew. What? No,
There's
you
something about the
haven't.
core. Yeah, yeah. Like pineapple in general is like really supposedly
How do you eat
like
the core though? It's hard.
you can put it in a smoothie.
Ooh.
Put it in a smoothie.
So do
Yeah,
you just? How do you get a core? Like you just buy a fresh pineapple
like a fresh pineapple.
and you
Yeah.
cut it
And
up
instead of
yourself?
like getting around the core, you just cut it up yourself.
Like just peel it and just cut it in regular slices and throw it in there?
Yeah, I mean you can do that, or you could cut off the pieces that you want to just like normally eat, and then just use the core for like the smoothie.
Did you do yours in a smoothie?
I think so. Yeah.
Because like there's no way you can just eat the core.
I mean you could. It's not. It's gonna be very chewy, probably,
How
but
did it taste funny? I'm
it's a
very
pineapple.
interested in this because now I got a Ninja from a smoothie maker for my birthday, and I'm
Yeah,
like, I could use that after
yeah,
ovulation. Like,
yeah.
I need
Look,
to get a
I mean,
pineapple with our next grocery order next week.
I love pineapple, so I mean, it just tastes like pineapple. You can't tell that it's any different. It's
Okay, I'm gonna be buying a pineapple
all
on
right. There you go.
Sunday because
I
my predicted ovulation is sometime next week. So
yeah.
if in our next episode, I'll have my
You
smoothie, and
have
you'll know
pineapple.
why.
And then 8 Brazil nuts or pumpkin seeds for implantation.
Really?
Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are high in selenium.
Okay, I need to make notes of this. Hold on, I don't have any paper. Oh,
Well, I'm
here's
not,
paper.
obviously none of this really worked for me, so I don't know how
Okay,
it
but you
would.
have PCOS, so like I feel okay.
Yeah,
Brazil nuts.
Brazil nuts.
I'm legit writing this down, by the way.
All right.
And pineapple core.
Yeah, they're very high in selenium. You only need
I wrote it down. See
one,
right there?
like 1 or 2. Don't overdo it with the Brazil nuts. You can get too much selenium. So just
So like you eat
1 or
like
2.
one or two like every day after ovulation
Just raw.
for your 2 week wait or what?
Honestly, they're good for you in general.
So you just eat a couple a
I
day
was
every
just
day?
eating them a couple a day every day. I don't do it right now, but I probably should. But
Okay.
I didn't do it just after, which I don't know. I've never heard of it just after ovulation or implantation. I guess it says 4 implantations, so I guess taking it through your entire cycle, 4 implantation
Okay.
would make sense. So
Well, I
yeah.
will be doing that. I'll be trying that for sure.
Um, and then next, which is kind of around the same thing, try to seed cycling. I did do that.
What is
So
seed
seed
cycling?
cycling, um, so like on cycle day 1 until day of ovulation.
I remember you telling me
Uh,
this. Yes.
yeah, I'm trying to remember which one it is. I think I can't remember exactly which one. So there's 4 seeds. There's flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and sunflower seeds. Did I say that?
Mm-mm.
Sunflower
You
seeds.
haven't said it
Okay,
yet.
yeah. So I think it's pumpkin and flax seeds and sunflower and sesame seeds are together. I can't remember which one, but like for your cycle day 1 to ovulation, you do 2 of the seeds, and then after ovulation until cycle day 1, you do like the other seeds. And there's like
Interesting.
estrogen and progesterone like higher in the particular seeds, and so it's supposed to help also help regulate your cycles.
Oh
Um,
yeah. And see, like
which I
that's
mean,
the
the
other
other
thing.
ones
A
said
lot of
to
things are like to regulate your cycles. I'm like, I'm regular.
well, yeah. I mean,
I'm still gonna write that down because
yeah,
I mean,
seeds
seeds
are
in
good.
general are good for you.
Seeds are good. Yeah, a lot of fiber and
Where'd my pen
pumpkin
go?
seeds are good
There it
because
is.
there's magnesium in them. Um, so yeah, adding seeds in. But I
Okay.
can't remember exactly which days are which. It's been a while since that was
Is it nice?
before
Is it nice to
IVF.
like just not have that in your brain all the time
Um, I mean, it's still kind of in my brain because
for nutrition?
I like regulated my cycles before IVF. Like they had started regulating with
Yeah.
like nutrition and everything, but then after pregnancy, like they haven't regulated again. So I'm still working on that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
still struggling with it a little bit. So it's still kind of
But
in
it's
there,
there in
but
a different way.
yeah. And like seeds, like you can blend them in smoothies.
Oh.
You could also blend them in and like maybe mix some like coconut in it and like blend them all up together and keep them in the freezer. And then you can like sprinkle it over some yogurt.
Ooh.
Or like I even did it like in some soups just because I needed to get them in for the day. I had a soup and I would sprinkle the seeds in to eat them that way. So yeah, there's a lot of
Interesting.
yeah. So somebody might want to look into that if
Yeah.
they haven't heard of it before. All right, this one's for you. You mentioned it. Took Mucinex to increase cervical mucus.
Yes. So
I did
it's
not do that.
so it's not like Mucinex DM or whatever. It's just the active ingredient in Mucinex. So it's guanfacine, I think is what it's
Yeah.
called. So I did that last cycle, and I did notice a difference. Like I've always had a fine cervical mucus. I do feel like it's kind of not as much as it used to be. I also struggle with hydration, so that's a big factor. But I tried it and I was like, oh, there is a difference. So,
Yeah.
like I started today taking it because I'm cycle day like 2 or 3, and you take it through ovulation and then you stop for the month. So I did take that. I'm doing it again. I did notice a difference. It obviously wasn't successful this cycle, but
Yeah.
you never know. So yep,
But
I've
you
done
did
that.
see a difference. So
Hmm.
that's interesting. Yeah, I never tried that one. I don't know why. I mean, I read about it, but it just wasn't.
I've read about it multiple times and was like, nah. And then I was like,
Well, I
yeah.
think I wasn't really. I honestly like I tracked my cervical mucus sometimes, but I wasn't really like super into it, which I probably should have been. But um, so I guess that's probably why I never really thought that would be super helpful. But um, drank pomegranate juice for uterine lining.
So I did it one time. I bought pomegranate
That's
honey
okay. That works.
juice at Costco, and I didn't like it. I think it's the honey in it. I want to get just regular pomegranate juice. It's
Yeah,
I don't know what brand it is, but it's that bottle where it's like boop.
the palm. It's called palm.
Oh, okay.
Is what it's called.
But
Yeah,
so I
I did
will.
it.
Isn't acai and pomegranate? No.
No,
No.
it's
Okay, never
different.
mind. Never mind.
It's yeah. I've tried acai too, and it was gross.
I don't eat it. When I went for the
Yeah.
consultation with our IVF clinic, he told me to start
Yeah.
taking the
See,
supplement, so I
I
take
didn't
that.
know there was a supplement for it, or else I probably would have.
So I take
But
2 of those pills every day, morning and night.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would make like a little mocktail, I guess, in the
Ooh,
evening with like pomegranate juice, and like you could do like some sparkling water and like maybe a little bit of pineapple juice.
ooh, that would be good.
So
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that.
try that. So I did that for sure. Um, took warm lemon water every morning for hormone balance.
Mm-mm.
I didn't do that one. I have done lemon water before, but not
I
all this
currently
year.
am drinking lemon water, but for
Yeah,
other reasons. So.
yeah, yeah. I didn't know that it, I guess, would help with the hormone balance. So I know it helps with like blood sugar and things like that, but I didn't know for like hormone, which I guess blood sugar is related to hormonal balance. So,
Yeah.
um, okay, so that was it for like the nutrition.
Oh, okay, okay.
Next is like supplements and functional stuff, is what
Okay.
it
Mm.
says. So one is took inositol.
I don't even know what that is.
Um, I take it. Mainly people for PCOS take it. It helps like with your like ovarian quality. It helps with, like blood sugar
I
and
may
stuff.
want to take that though, right? Or
I've
no?
looked into it. I've looked into it for you, and I don't know. It is currently in the conception for her,
I'm stopping taking that.
but you are stopping taking that.
Like I
I
stopped
did look
today.
into it, and I didn't see
No?
really a
Okay.
reason for you to. So yeah.
You're good. Yeah, no, I did take the supplement conception for her and I still have some left over, but I'm like I'm ready to be back on my natural
Yeah.
prenatals, so I
Yeah.
switched all that out today. I go every Sunday night I
Okay.
sit. I have a week worth of the pill divider thing, and it's AM and PM, and I
Yeah.
because if not,
Yeah.
there's too
Yeah.
many to keep track.
Yeah. Next is took CoQ10 or ubiquinol.
I take CoQ10. I've been taking
Yeah.
it
I don't
for a year
I don't take
now.
any of that. Took NAC, omega 3s, or L-carnitine.
I don't think I've taken
I
any
take
of
omega
those.
3s. I do
No.
omega 3s. I'm about to start taking NAC. That's um helps with like inflammation and stuff. So
Ooh,
about to start taking that for like to help see if it helps with my thyroid. And then there's took Vitex or Chasteberry. I
never heard of
think
either of those.
it's in the conception for her. So
Okay,
you
so we'll mark that
technically
as a yes.
have taken it. I did not take it, but took a prenatal before trying to conceive.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
take Ritual.
Use progesterone cream or suppositories.
Nope, you did.
I guess I technically did for I had to take one for IVF, I think.
That counts.
Yeah,
The
okay.
amount of progesterone shots you've taken, that counts.
All right, that okay. Took bee pollen, royal jelly, or maca root.
Maca root I have.
You do top maca root.
My
I haven't taken
therapist
it.
does bee pollen. Like it's just a
It's
spoonful of bee
really,
pollen. I've thought
yeah.
about doing it, but I'm like,
I've looked into it too. It's really high in B vitamins, so I mean it is very full of a lot of nutrients and stuff. I just haven't tried it.
I wonder if you could put it in a smoothie.
Yeah, or you can sprinkle it on yogurt too. It's kind of, I
What
mean,
does
it's
it
kind of
taste like
honey.
though?
I think it's like honey, kind of.
Oh, okay.
That's kind. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but that's what I assume it tastes like.
I'm like, oh my, like I sit and think about like as we're going through this, and I'm like, and then there's our husbands, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Took baby aspirin for implantation support.
I take baby aspirin because I had really bad preeclampsia with my
Yeah.
daughter. And so they did recommend that I start baby aspirin. And then I also, when we had our third loss and did blood work, I don't have like a clotting disorder, but it like is it MHR or something like was positive or something, which
Yeah.
is like micro clots in your uterus. And so I was already on baby aspirin. They're like, yeah, like I don't have a clotting disorder where I need a shot or anything, but they
Right.
did want me on baby aspirin for
Okay.
that.
I'll give you a point for that one. Bought separate supplements just for your partner.
No,
Nope.
no,
Didn't take anything.
no.
I take some now, but that's because I've learned about supplements. I'm like, here, take these. But
I
other than
think they
that,
said is it DHEA or CoQ10 is
yeah,
good for for the spouse also. I'm like, you want to take this? He's like, no. I was like, fine.
probably DHEA. I think that helps with like the testosterone.
So yeah, no.
Yeah, but no, he didn't take anything during any of this because he was fine.
Yep, same with Scott.
Made a supplement spreadsheet or pill organizer.
Yes.
Yes.
There's actually no way you could keep up with it if not.
Absolutely not. All right, next is is medical path and advanced options.
Oh, okay.
Had your AMH levels tested?
Yes.
Yes. Had to for IVF. So, got a full thyroid hormone panel?
Yep.
Yes.
And it's so
Um,
it's hard, like, because I did the thyroid and I did autoimmune, and like the autoimmune was like my last holding out hope of like there's something else
yeah,
going
there's
on.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we talked about that. Like, it's a complicated feeling. Like, you don't want there to be something wrong, but you do want there to be something wrong, so that you know and can kind of like pinpoint it somewhere. So,
Yeah.
next is saw a reproductive endocrinologist.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah,
No.
I don't really know.
You've seen an endocrinologist for your thyroid stuff.
Mm,
No?
Nope,
Oh, okay.
I haven't. I found out I had thyroid issues at the fertility specialist, and then I saw just my regular doctor recently and found out I actually have Hashimoto's.
Who did
So,
your thyroid medication when you were doing IUI and IVF?
my fertility specialist.
Oh, okay, okay. Well,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, yeah. And then my OB, you have to get it tested every trimester when you're pregnant. So like my regular OB was testing it to
Oh,
make sure
okay.
that it was still um in range or whatever. But yeah, I haven't gone to like an actual endocrinologist. Um, had an HSG or ultrasound to check your tubes lining.
You
Yes,
have.
I have
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I have
So they
not.
haven't. I guess they probably didn't recommend it since you're able
Hmm.
to get pregnant. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, did timed intercourse monitoring. So that would be like
Every other
checking
day, every.
they're like looking at your ovaries and like
Oh,
making
no.
sure and then timing that way.
No.
I don't think IUI kind of we weren't doing we weren't really doing that for like intercourse. We were doing that for like the IUI process. So I don't think mine falls into that. I think it's different.
Would y'all still try, like, just to give the IUI like an extra boost?
Um, not like intentionally. I
I
guess
didn't know, because like some people do, right?
yeah,
So
some
I didn't
people
know.
do. Yeah. Well, the thing is like when you're doing IUI and IVF and stuff, like you have to abstain. The male has to abstain
Right. For.
for so many
Mhm.
days before, so like they can get like the most potency for like the procedure.
Mhm.
So not necessarily before. You
Right.
can't really do it. So,
That
um,
makes sense.
yeah. And then tried Clomid, Letrozole, or other fertility meds.
I have not,
Yeah.
but you have.
Um, but you had to do progesterone. Do you think that would
But that
that
wasn't for like implantation or anything. That was just to get
okay?
my cycle started
Oh,
after my miscarriage.
okay. This one.
Oh no.
This one. Tried an at-home insemination kit.
Have you?
Yes.
No, you haven't! What? I
I
had
did.
no idea!
I know. I was waiting for that.
Oh my god, you're getting me
Yeah.
back for the whole getting married
Yeah.
that you didn't know. Oh!
Yeah. I mean, trying literally everything. It's basically a glorified
Turkey baster.
turkey baster. Yeah, it costs a lot of money. That's basically what it
Okay,
was.
what
I
did
don't even
Jake think about
remember.
that when you brought up doing that?
He just went for it.
Oh
I
my,
was
oh,
like,
that's a great
"We're
husband right
trying this."
there.
I was like, "We're
Oh my
trying this."
gosh.
So
So he just like went in the
yeah,
other room, did what he needed to do, and
yeah.
then
Went
boop.
in the bathroom. Went in the bathroom. And that's the time when I put my legs up on the wall.
I had no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah,
Okay, how
yeah.
far into y'all trying did you do that?
Oh, I was still seeing my regular doctor, so it was still like in the
It was still
first
early on.
year.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow, that blew my mind.
Yeah, it didn't work. But
Obviously.
yeah, I watched a lot of videos and people. It did work for other people, so like
Yeah.
that's literally the only thing they did that month. So, um, but yeah, yeah, I was excited to drop that one on
You're such a
because
butt.
that one is like such like a random like
That is really
that's
random.
it's a big one. It's a big one too.
Yeah.
So yeah. Had an IUI or IVF consult or procedure.
I've had the
So
consult, I guess. Yeah.
had the consult, yeah.
You should get more points for the
Um,
procedure. Like, here, like, I get a point for every IUI, every
I
IVF.
know. Joined a trying to conceive forum, subreddit, or Facebook group.
I mean, I'm part
I
of the
would
Temp
say
Drop
the temp
Facebook group,
job.
and
I
that's
would
trying to
say,
conceive.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, took your basal body temp thermometer on vacation.
Oh, my Temp Drop goes with
Yeah,
me. Yeah.
you've taken it with you.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, that was it.
Ooh, okay.
I thought there was more than that. Okay, so you had, let's see, you had 27, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I had 29. Really close.
What? You beat me? Well, I think it was all the
Yeah.
IVF stuff.
All right, so if you had 0 to 10 points, you're considered just sprouting. You're new to
Okay.
the fertility journey and still smiling. It's a wild ride ahead. So, thoughts are with y'all if you're there. Um, 11 to 20 points is rooted in research, which means you've tested some waters and made some lifestyle changes. You speak ovulation fluently. And then we're both in this one. So we are 21 to 30. You're a fertility strategist. You've built a plan, tried all the T's, and you could low-key coach someone else through trying to conceive.
Yeah, oh my gosh. That's so funny because, like, I've talked about things with because I have a therapist. Like,
Yeah.
therapy started before
Yeah.
fertility stuff, but we talk. And, you know, she has her story. I don't want to overshare, but she and her husband have been trying for years with no luck. She's younger than me. And, like, I'll talk about things like checking my cervix. She's like, wait, what? And so, like,
Yeah.
well, like, part of my therapy, and I'm like, like, I feel like I've taught her things.
Yeah, I know.
Where, like, when I got all my blood work, she's like, okay, what did they test? Okay, I'm gonna go ask for this and this and this.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, like, we'll text even outside of therapy.
I mean, we've talked about it just between us, but like growing up, you're not taught
No.
any of that. Like you're told to basically be scared about
Mm-hmm.
like sex and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not told about the ins and outs of it.
No.
So it's like,
Well, like, even
like nobody knows. You don't, like I said, with
like
last
statistics of
episode.
like, you know, you can only get pregnant for this many
Yeah.
days, but even then, like, an average woman, which I don't fall in this category because of my age, but, you know, you only have a 25% shot of getting pregnant that month. Like, for me, it's less than that because of my age. And it's like, wait,
I
what?
have less than that because I only have one fallopian tube.
Yeah. And then, like, even, like, just, and then you add the layer to it of, like, and I get it. I mean, like, I don't know about Jake, but I know there was a lot Scott didn't know, like, percentage-wise, and still, and we were talking, he's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah. And so it just, it's hard, and so much of what you Google is, like, generic. Like, when we had our first loss, I Googled, and I had even asked my doctor, I'm like, how long can I expect before I start my period again? She's like, 4 to 6 weeks. Google 4 to 6 weeks. Well, yeah, that's usually like in a miscarriage of probably about up to 6 weeks because your HCG isn't super high. Like for me, because we were at 8.5 weeks, but measuring 9.5 weeks. My HCG was so high. I mean, it was a couple of months. I mean, I was still testing positive in June, and we lost our baby at beginning of May. But even doctors will kind of have just that rote response. But then when you start digging deeper, you're like, well, wait, that 25% doesn't apply to me because of this or this or this. And then that's when you fall susceptible to, I don't want to say scams, but there are scams out there, or, you know, the money grabs, and you're like.
Yeah, companies are feasting on people that are going through these things. But like you mentioned, this wasn't even one of the things that, like, the amount of Google searches.
Oh.
Like, yeah, like I don't even know, like everything, and like even every single month, like I would be Googling the exact same things, like hoping
Yes.
there would be like a new
Yep,
answer.
I
Like
did it
I
again
just
this
read
year.
this
Yep,
last
this month.
month.
Yep.
Like I know what I read last month, so why am I still doing this? So
Or like even the
I don't know.
supplements that I've taken,
Yeah.
like some of them are from Google, some of them are from the doctor, but then you
Yeah.
get into the whole supplement, like there's no regulation on supplements.
Oh no.
And not
Yeah.
and each supplement isn't created equal and like all the things, but then like my prenatal vitamins, because I do have I tested positive for something, I don't remember what it is, but um my body doesn't absorb folate.
NT-HFR.
Yes, doesn't absorb folate right.
Yeah.
And so I have to take methylfolate, which is
Yeah.
the better folate anyway. So
Yeah.
my prenatals, I had to make sure I have that. They're $30 versus, the $11 gummies I was getting at
Folic
HEB.
acid. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, so like for us, we are very much budgeting right now trying to get like medical debt paid off from all of my surgeries and things, because IVF's going to be about 40 grand. And we know that that's years later, like years down the road. But, and so I'm like, okay, I want to take, the better supplements. I'm like, okay, these are $40 a month and you need, a new bottle each month. And I'm probably on 7 or 8 different supplements. And it's like, okay, well, I can't do that. Or you and I have talked a lot about like cutting out fragrances and, aluminum, things like that. So just the chat we had the other day about my deodorant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this deodorant's $30. I'm not spending $30 on deodorant.
Yeah, it's crazy because like those are things that are like just using the simplest ingredients. Like they're not even having to like create these chemicals. So why does it cost more to make things that are just using the typical normal ingredients? Like just baking soda. Like why is that costing more than the one that has like 50 ingredients?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna try making.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
I feel a little crunchy, which if you're crunchy, good for you. But I'm trying to make my own deodorant, and it's baking soda and coconut oil and tea tree oil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that wasn't that expensive. I mean, the coconut oil was more expensive because I had to get the unrefined, all the things. But anyway, it's just
that's gonna make you so many deodorants.
Yes. But it's like, what is like, why?
Yeah,
why? And then you start thinking about all that, and then it's like, oh, but there's a coupon code for Viagra, and your insurance covers it too. And I'm like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, but yes, I feel like we are, in the depths of fertility. I know I learned a lot from you as I started trying to conceive, but yeah, I still do the Google searches and the deep dives, and I try not to, but it's funny because like it's so cyclical, right? Like I start my period, there's the morning process of like, okay, I'm not pregnant, and then ovulation week hits, and if you're a girl, you know all about ovulation week, and so you're like positive and like, this is great and we got this, and then the 2-week wait hits, and like you can kind of feel yourself kind of start being less and less like optimistic, and then it starts all over again.
I think that's one of the worst things about it all is like the wait. Like there's just so much waiting.
Yes.
Like there's only a few days that you can really do anything, and it's just the rest is just waiting and waiting. And so like, oh, what else are you gonna do?
But cycle, like spiral,
yeah. Like that's all you can do at that time.
And then I feel bad because like my spiraling every month is the same spiral. It was so funny because I kept having my because I see my therapist once a month. We do it virtually, and it kept falling either right at the end of my 2-week wait or like really right around the end of my 2-week wait. So it was always just tears and everything's horrible and life sucks and all that. And I'm like, okay, we're going to change when we meet to where maybe we can talk about things other than just the fact that I'm not pregnant. Yeah. And so now we meet, like we're meeting kind of like end of ovulation.
That's smart. Smart. I haven't even thought about that. Like that's really interesting.
Because it was literally, I was talking about the same things every time. And I'm like, I know what's happening because I'll spiral to Scott. I'll spiral about, the same things. Oh, that was fun. We had some good laughs. Is there anything else that they didn't ask that you've done? Did you ever do, and this may be spicy, and you don't have to go into detail, like any weird positions? Or did you have like certain go-to ones when you were trying to conceive? Like I've got, my in-laws cannot listen to this at all.
yeah, but I didn't like tell Jake. Like, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, in my head,
You're
I'm
like, hey,
like,
I've always
oh,
wanted to try
I've
this.
I've read about this, so let's try it. You know what I mean? So without telling Jake that that's the reason why, but
Yeah, no, no, none for us. But that's funny. Like that. I mean, I get the not telling because like I
yeah,
catch myself, especially with like peak ovulation and all that, and like cervical mucus and all those things. Like those are things we know, right? Like our husbands don't know. Um, and so I'll catch myself, especially like looking at the app and being like, okay, these days we've got to try. And I'm trying to be better about that. But then when I am better about it and just kind of like letting it happen naturally, then when that month doesn't happen, I'm like, see, I missed the shot.
yeah.
But like there have been times where, maybe I'm the initiator of things because I'm like,
Well,
we have to right
it's
now.
hard not to. Like, even if you try not to, it's just like because you are tracking it, and um, I mean, there's good things and bad things about it. It's just like you've mentioned, like it can become a chore, and it puts a lot of pressure on both of you, and then it's
Like
you're
I, for
no
the most
longer.
part, don't even tell Scott when I get a
Yeah.
positive ovulation
I
test.
mean, the whole point is you're creating this human out of love, and then like once it starts getting deep into that, like it's no longer like it is still love, but like it's a little different, if
It
that makes
is,
sense.
it is. And
Like
that
it,
was one thing
yeah,
our fertility doctor, when we did consult with him, was like,
yeah,
don't make this a chore. Like, because he would
yeah.
ask, like, how many times, a month do you have sex? And like, I'm sitting there and he's like, okay, let me clarify, like, when you're not ovulating.
Yeah.
Because there also is a drive there with ovulation
Yeah.
that's not there other
Yeah,
times.
absolutely. Yeah.
And then, I know you have been privy to that knowledge because when I send, like, my charts, I don't cut out the
And I
hearts and
see
stuff
all
like that.
the hearts. And I think one of my favorite things is you you've sent it to me before, and I've been like, well, I mean, I think you got enough hearts.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and you like crack up about it,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it is what it is. I feel like we are past the point of, I mean, I put a shot in your butt. We are past the
that is
point
true.
of.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like, for me at least, and I hope I haven't, made any made it feel awkward or weird, but like, we've talked about how lonely this is. And so if you can't just be wide open with your friends, especially friends going through the same thing, and just,
Yeah.
talking about it and joking about it and laughing about it, like, what else is there to do but cry? And I cry enough about it that, you know what, cool, you
Yeah.
can see my heart.
I think one of my sometimes you have to have dark humor about it, like you said. And I remember I tested positive for COVID. It was like right before, it might have been like right when we were about to do IUI or something like that. It was like before one of the treatments, and I sent it to you, and I was like, well, not the positive test I was
Yeah.
looking for.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, I have
Like
a.
at least I could test positive for something.
Yep. When COVID first started coming, I had a coworker. She's one of my best friends. She's like, she tested positive. She's like, it's like a bad pregnancy test that you don't want.
Yeah.
And then over spring break, Scott tested positive for COVID, and I just looked at him. I was like, "You stole my positive test!" And he's
Yeah.
like, "What?"
Yeah.
Well, I was like, because I was in my 2 week wait. I was like,
Yeah.
"This was supposed to be the month I was supposed to test positive, and you stole it." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Sorry, I got sick.
Oh, hey, that's another question. All right, have there been any times like either of y'all are sick and you're like, "Nope, gotta try"?
Um, no, I don't
No.
think like if we're sick, I think it was kind of just like, well, I mean,
Okay. We
nobody
never,
still has the
never
energy.
sick, never sick.
Yeah.
Scott messed up his back, and I'm like, well, too bad, too
He just has
bad.
to lay there. So,
What?
but he just has to
Yeah,
lay there.
pretty much. I was like, too bad, so sad. Sorry. Um.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to put in the
Yeah,
summary.
this is
Like,
definitely family, please.
yeah,
Like, I know you want
family.
to support,
Like,
but
yeah.
turn it on, but turn the volume down
There
so
you
that
go.
we can
Yeah.
still get the
We'll have
fun.
to put like in the summary, like, be
Yeah.
prepared.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, no. I mean, I will say, I hope. I mean, I'm sure Scott has his opinion, and I think it's pretty positive. I don't think it's affected us to the point of like, you know, intimacy being negative or anything like that, but that is something very common, and you read about that a lot. And if that's something you and your partner are going through, you know, I think the biggest thing for me with both my OBGYN and my fertility doctor is, you know, they're just very big on making sure Scott and I are open and, you know, talking and having communication. And, you know, if one of us and Scott and I have, like, if one of us gets to the point of, like, we need to be done for right now, the other has to respect that. And like with my fertility doctor, should we go through IVF, they require psychological, like, we would have, Scott and I have to meet with a psychiatrist or psychologist to make sure we're both on the same page and understanding. And then if we do with a donor egg, which is what we would do, the donor would have to do that as well. And I think that's huge too, because sometimes couples aren't, and they're, you know, I think ultimately probably with Jake, and I know with Scott, like, Scott right now at least is more kind of go with the flow, with me being the one to make that decision because it's my body at this point. So
yeah, and I mean, I kind of mentioned that in my fertility story. Like, it's always just kind of been like, you know, like, I can't make this decision for you because it's mainly you.
I think the only thing that Scott is staying level-headed on where I'm not is I would do IVF right this second. He's like, we just absolutely cannot afford that right now. We have to wait. And, like, sitting and having that conversation of, like, okay, we're probably a few years away from it. Like, that was hard for me to, like, say out loud, but I needed to say that out loud.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yay. I hope this was felt light. Like we mentioned, like, the past couple episodes have been a little heavy, so hopefully, but it's okay. Next week we're
diving back in.
We're going back to heavy. So.
Yeah. So next week, you know, if you didn't listen to this one, you guarded your ears. It's like I even have people from church listening. So I'm like, maybe they don't. You know, I don't. It's fine. We're gonna talk about a pretty big hot topic. We're gonna talk about religion and fertility. My goal for it is not to be divisive in any way, but I have leaned more into my faith through this journey, and I know for you that was a different experience, and just kind of talking about that and where both sides are coming from, and also not everyone, but yours and my viewpoint on IVF and things like that, and which we've touched a little bit on with your last episode of what we are willing to share and not share, but because I think religion in general, whether it's Christianity or any other religion, can be weaponized by people, and it's done a lot when it comes to fertility journeys. And so for me, at least, I don't know about you, for me, my goal is to de-weaponize it as much as I can and just kind of talk about my journey with God, because, you know, sometimes we're not on speaking terms. So yeah. I'm excited about that one. I came up with the idea because I think as a Christian, I think there are a couple of different ways you can go, not just fertility, but like anytime you face adversity, it's either you're gonna run to God or you're gonna run away. And so I think we, like you mentioned, we kind of have a couple different viewpoints on that. So I'm excited to dive into that one. I think that one's gonna be, I feel like most of the things that I've kept inside that I haven't really worked through are going to be related to that. So I think, like, my story, that was a little bit easier for me to get through because I have processed a lot of things, like, just specifically, like, related to me. But I think the thing that I really haven't worked a lot in is going to be in regards to, like, the religion space and, like, where a lot of the stuff that I'm holding on to, I think that's where it's at. So that's going to be an interesting episode. Yeah. I can't wait. Okay. 2 truths and a hormone?
We can try.
I know. So to be completely transparent, we had to record 2 episodes back to back, just because of travel and things like that. So if you watch the last episode, you'll see we're in the same clothes. So we may not have 2 truths and a hormone, to be honest. Maybe we'll skip it this time.
Yeah, I nothing has changed
in the last hour.
So, I guess the truth is that...
Yeah, the truth is we are recording back to back.
Yes, that is the truth.
But you know what? It's for good reason, because you are going to be traveling to Colorado shortly. Well, in a couple weeks, I guess. And then the week y'all get back is when Scott and I and his family are going to the beach. So we didn't want.
Yeah.
This is so new. I didn't really want to take any time off, and I
Yeah.
wanted to kind of keep it going.
Yeah.
So and next week we'll probably record 2 back-to-back. So we may have another episode of No Two Truths No Hormone, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll get it together.
But it was fun,
Okay,
and I
yeah.
hope everyone listened, except for the people that we're going to tell not to listen to.
If there's anything crazy that you've tried on your fertility journey, we want to hear about it.
Yes, because
So,
like
you
I
can
may
follow
write it
us-
down on my list.
Yeah,
Like, give me some ideas.
Good ideas. So you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Two Truths and a Hormone. It's all spelled out. So you can like comment on any of our posts there, send us a message there, or you can email us at twotruthsandahormone@gmail.com. Make sure you give us a 5-star review.
And share with your friends,
yeah,
you know.
share. And if you have any ideas of things you want us to talk about, let us know that too. But other than that, I think that's it. So thank you all for listening, and I hope you all have a good week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.